You're listening to What They
Talking.
A podcast that talks about lifestyle,
Culture.
technology, politics, Hollywood, business,
Stocks.
so you can get
your money.
Let's get to it. Welcome to another episode of What They Talking. It is your boy Dizzle here on this wonderful, wonderful Thursday morning. How y'all doing out there today? Jay, my man, it is the week of love. Yesterday was V-Day. I don't know what you had going on. I don't know what none of y'all had going on. So I'm interested to see how was your week and how was the good old V-Day for you, bro?
I mean, it was good. Love is in the air. You know, everybody out here smooching, spending money, you know, all these corporations getting their cut, you know, on this day of love.
Oh, yeah.
But no, my Valentine's Day was good. I just continued the tradition that I have where, so I have half siblings. So same dad, different mom. So my sibling's mom came over last night. And we had our traditional date where she brings chili and we just hang out. So I call her my bonus mom, you know, a little additional mom. So hung out with her. She is probably the sweetest woman you'll ever meet in your life. Short little Jewish woman named Frumi. Shout out Frumi. We love her to death. Her chili smacks. So we had a little bit of wine. You know, one of my boys joined us, so it was good. Like we had a good, relaxing night, no complaints. Yeah, you know, so that family love, it's not restricted to romantic love, you sickos out there. It's just about
when
love.
you said
It's about love in general. You know, easy there, Logan Wallen, in your backwoods Alabama ass understanding of love.
I was gonna say for those all y'all old folk out there who don't know what smacks means, that means it tasted good. This wasn't it's kind of like an ass or trash moment. Smacks means good. Yeah. Just letting y'all know.
Thank you for that, because our demo is definitely old.
I wasn't coming in hot against your V-Day date, Jay. Don't worry, man.
Yeah. My guess is you probably forgot Valentine's Day, so you are out here scrambling right now. Yeah. Point being is, like, love's in the air. We need more love going around to everybody. Romantic, platonic, familial, whatever you got. We just need that. But yeah, so week's good. Looking forward to the weekend. You know, nothing crazy going on. Chachi, how was your V-Day? How's your week?
Good. All good. Definitely feeling the love out here as well. I feel like Valentine's Day has been like a week now because my wife's birthday was last week. So I've been kind of celebrating her and us and family as well.
Right.
So, last week we started with, dinner and just some us time, shipped the kids off to family. And then over the weekend, my sons had a track meet in New York. So we were up in New York City over the weekend. It was dope. Had a blast. Stayed over at the Ace Hotel in Brooklyn. Got to take the kids, walk my sons across the Brooklyn Bridge. Had some dinner over at Italy over by the World Trade Center.
Oh, okay.
We got an Italy out here. We have one
so
here.
good. So good. Then, the next day they competed. They did well. Real proud of my boys. Both of them had some PRs. Watched the Super Bowl in the city. The next morning, woke up, had some good pizza. Went over to the Statue of Liberty, took the boys there to do that for the first time, and then came back. It was nice, man, and then it just continued. My wife actually made chili too, so that's
okay.
Chili is the love food.
Chili is the food of love. Chili is the food of love. You know what I mean? How about you, Bug? How you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing good. I'm trying to understand chili as a love food, because if I eat chili, like, I'm going food coma status, like, watching a movie, I'm probably falling asleep. So ladies not getting any attention from me. But no, mine's been good. And I'm just going to ask Dizzle, can we cue up some of that romantic music for Chachi?
I've been really trying, baby.
Hollywood knew where I was going.
What? What?
I was on some Usher shirt off,
Man.
fucking from the back.
Some Marvin Gaye or what?
You know what I'm saying?
Some Luther
Oh, man.
Vandross, a little Anita. We definitely set this
Man,
party.
y'all guys crazy.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
man.
No shame in my game.
My weekend was good. As y'all know, I was actually on Abbott Kinney during half of the Super Bowl, right? We got back for the second half. We watched it. That was good. And then actually, the girl and I, we just went, walked near the beach, watched the sunset for Valentine's Day. So kept it low key. We didn't eat no chili though.
Yeah, talking about I'm romantic. You're over
Look
here
at
watching
that.
the
The
sunset.
sunset.
You know what I'm saying? Cue the romance music.
Yeah.
Yes.
He made up for that birthday.
Made up for the
bro.
birthday. That's right. But other than that, man, I've been solid. Over to you, Dizzle. How you been, man? How's your weekend? Your V-Day?
Oh, weekend's good, man. Of course, we all watched the Super Bowl,
Mhm.
man. We watched the Swifties win. The Swifties had to
Swifties.
win,
Yeah.
I mean, everybody said, it's like, oh, man, it was scripted. And I almost...
The Super Bowl
went-
or Swifties?
Yeah, I was like, the Super Bowl,
Yeah.
because of the Swifties,
Yeah.
I was like, I don't believe it. And then I was watching the game. I watched the whole game, man. I was like, 49ers is dominating, bro. They gonna win it. And then as soon as halftime hit, my son was like, hey, Dad, this is where the script kicks in. And
Yo.
my God.
Yo, you know what's crazy? Yo, next year we'll know for sure because
Right.
reportedly 50 million made in commercial ads because it went into overtime. So if every Super Bowl from now on is an overtime game, you already know
Right.
what it is.
Hey, I'm glad y'all are bringing that up. But can I ask you, I don't follow. Actually, I don't follow many sports closely. Does Kelsey used to get as many touches as he got in the Super Bowl? Has he always been high volume player? Okay, just curious.
Yeah.
He's
Okay.
been that dog.
Okay.
He's one of the best tight ends ever. Yeah,
Got it.
Yeah, he's been that.
Okay.
dog.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Just asking because
Yeah.
with the whole
He
thing.
that dude.
Yeah. Okay.
He that dude.
Okay. Just curious.
He really is that dude. I can't hate on Kelsey with his fade.
Okay.
But
With his fade.
other than that,
Hey, he
man,
told us how to get that fade. Remember, you sent me
Yeah.
that IG post.
he did.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
ask for that
definitely.
too. Now that's my new fade.
But man,
The pioneer.
right, man. But unfortunately for V-Day, man, me and my lady have been apart. You know what I'm saying? She out of town. She had to take care of some business. So working couple over here. So when she get back, we make up for it for sure. Shout out.
What do you mean?
Shout out to
What do you mean
What do you
make up
mean?
for it?
this dude right here. Dude right here, man.
Okay, I thought we were telling
I make-
all with Chachi in the background.
I make everything special.
Chili.
I make
Chachi bringing up chili.
I'll make us some chili. Yeah,
Oh,
man. But anyway, as y'all know, we got these stories queued up for you, so let's get to it. The first story of the day. And usually I always bring you guys the tech, but it was V-Day yesterday. In the week, everybody was talking about the Super Bowl, making money, commercials. But the St. Louis company, created in 1997, Build-A-Bear decided to throw something special out there. You know how you take your kids in the store, they can customize they bears, put little voices on them, little clothes. Well, now they got the bear cave. The store got the bear cave for Valentine's Day, and they're thinking about keeping it for throughout the year. And what's the bear cave? It's for the adults. Ain't nothing bad, but the adults go in, pick their bear out, put on some sexy lingerie, a coat. Hey, they be calling them zaddy, you know what I'm saying? they got buns. They said, I don't want none unless you got buns, hun, shirts on, You got the Hugh Hefner look on some of the bears with champagne and all this stuff. But the crazy thing about it, some people out here tweeting and talking bad, talking about this is just bad. What are they going to do? Upset people? They shouldn't have these things. I'm like, man, why y'all so sensitive? It's not like my girl mom, Lord rest her soul, if she was out here making bears, that thing will have the thing swinging,
Oh, yeah.
tiggo bitties on it, all kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? But these bears just got on little shirts with little cute little words trying to get you in the mood, calling you hot. But people obviously do their research, bro, because 40% of Build-A-Bear sales anyway comes from young adults. Anyway, it comes from adults. So what y'all think about this? Good move for Build-A-Bear? They making that money? Or should they just deal with these sensitive people who think, oh, buns, it's too tough? What do you think?
We've strayed so far from the Lord's light. We are promoting bestiality. No, I'm just kidding. I don't give a shit.
I was like, this is a new Jay.
No. It doesn't matter. If you, I don't know, I guess find it sexy to see a bear with tiggle bitties and lingerie.
But do they, though? Wait, hold on. Do they? Because I'm looking at one in a bikini, and it's just a bear with, like... like some chocolate covered strawberries on it, and it's not even like a bikini. It's not string bikini. It's just like,
I mean,
like
you could make an argument that like Barbie's outfits are way worse and more scandalous.
Boy, come on,
so, like,
man.
at least this is like a teddy bear, and it's like funny shit, I guess. Like depending on how you look at it,
right?
Like, I could see like a little gag gift, something like that.
Yeah,
or, like,
yeah, exactly.
Christmas parties with your office, the white elephant. That's just gonna be real funny or real
Tell
awkward.
me about it, man.
I feel like these people getting angry about it. Like, bro, if you see these bears, they're hilarious. Like, they're cute. Like, it's funny. It's not. I don't see anything like the female bear doesn't have breasts. You know what I mean?
Like, Barbie got breasts, bro.
Right,
Barbie got
does.
breasts.
Exactly.
The bear
They're gonna get
ain't
mad
got
at this.
nothing.
Bro, they got too much time on their hands.
It's one of those things that's like a novelty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know,
It's funny.
teddy bears,
cute.
chocolate
Yeah.
teddy bears, they sell during Valentine's Day. We just celebrated it, right? And then you think about opportunities for adults to like spice up their relationship
If
a little
you
bit.
need a teddy bear to spice your shit up, you got real problems.
Hey, what kind of chili Chachi making?
I don't. I'm just saying, to each their own. If people want to go out and, you know, find different creative dates, it's like, you know,
That's cool.
if you're with a couple, you know, and you got kids and you take your kids to Build-A-Bear, you take your wife on some old dolo to adult Build-A-Bear. As long as it's not adults taking kids there to make some Build-A-Bear.
Thank you. You know what I'm saying?
That's a
Yeah.
different problem.
100%.
That's, you know what I mean?
100%.
As soon as adults start thinking it's cute, then that's when it becomes a problem. you know?
The way I look at it, like, it's a funny little gag gift, like whatever, get your significant other, no big deal. But it's almost like, you know, the lady doth protest too much. Like, it's always the people who are like up in arms about the shit that are doing like the most heinous shit behind the scenes, right?
Check their hard drives.
Like when someone is so staunchly anti like gay and they're homophobic, like usually they're suppressing something else. Like if you give a shit about bears just having a little piece of fabric in a different thing, like who gives a shit? Like there's so many
Definitely.
worse gag gifts out
Dude.
there. Did it say in the report that like you can build these around children? Like I feel like they're after.
Well,
the
it's
fact
in the bear
accessories.
cave.
It's a bear cave.
Yeah.
You got to go into the bear cave section.
Jay knows
where you
about
gotta
that
have
bear
18
cave.
years or older ID to get in there. You know, it's kind of like when you used to go to the old school video store. We had VHS, and you got the room with the little curtain. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know what you're saying.
I know exactly what you're talking about with the beads. You know,
Blockbuster.
Yeah, with
So
the
I've
bees.
I
heard.
got zero
So I've
idea,
heard.
bro. Yeah,
You
yeah.
go in there?
Nah,
Oh,
I'm talking about-
Boogie say he don't know nothing about that. See, man, I
Too
guess
young.
I'm too old to the game,
Too
man.
young.
He's too
No,
young,
I know what you're talking
man.
about. Yeah.
That's funny.
But anyway, fellas, that's my story, man. So people want to get upset about teddy bears with turn me on shirts that they trying to spice up their relationship. Stop being so sensitive and probably go out and get you something, man, because you need to get hit. You know what I'm
Amen.
saying? And I ain't
Let
talking
the
about
adults
with a
be
fist.
some kids sometimes.
You know what I'm
I mean?
saying? I mean, I think it's a smart move for them, man. 40% of their sales come from adults anyway. So Build-A-Bear, make your money. Keep it year round
A
if you
brilliant
want to.
pivot.
Get the bag, Build-A-Bear.
They need to
Yeah.
retire that
for
anger.
real. So that is my story. Jay, Mr. Hollywood Jay, what you got for us today?
Speaking of retiring, we got someone that needs to fucking retire. President Mashed Potato Joe Biden. So this week, a special counsel report created by Robert Hur came out. Basically, what the report, for those who don't know, was assessing whether or not Biden should be prosecuted for his mishandling of classified info. he had some documents that were top secret, classified from his time during vice president that he stored in his garage in a box like next to his Corvette, right? Like not secure, not what you want to do. I'm not here to talk about whether or not, that's a good or a bad thing, or whether there's a double standard injustice. Like, I don't care.
I think everybody knows, but yeah,
it is what it is. Like, this is the world that we live in. But in that special report, basically what the report was designed to do was decide whether or not to pursue charges for his mishandling of classified information. And what the report basically boils down to is that the special prosecutor, who is assigned by Merrick Garland, who is the attorney general for the Biden administration, he basically came out and said, hey, I've got enough evidence here to potentially go forward. It's like, I'm not really sure if a jury would convict based on the fact that Biden is basically old and senile and can't remember what he did 10 minutes ago. And in this, he highlights various instances that during his interviews with Biden, things like he was unable to recall the years that he was vice president, which, if you remember, was not very long ago. And he also could not remember, even within a few years, of when his son, Beau, passed away. So basically what he's like, there's no jury that's going to convict this old man. They're going to feel bad for him, even if we have the evidence. So I'm electing not to prosecute charges. And so this had everyone up on arms, both sides of the political aisle. As you can imagine, the right was like, he's old, senile, like he can't be president, blah, 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 blah. And the left was like, this is a mischaracterization of him. He's the smartest, most dedicated, hardworking man I've ever met. But what I want to ask you guys is, what's your take on this? Like, without, pointing out Trump, because Trump does shitty things too. Like, what do you guys think? Like, I feel like we're in such a shitty part of politics these days that we're literally being force-fed the choice of horrible orange man or mashed potato brain, and we're told to like be excited about it. And I'm just personally so sick of being gaslit and being told that like what my own eyes and ears are seeing is like somehow so wrong. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think we're in a golden age of political candidates and the choices that we have are just the best of the best? Or are your eyes open and you're finally seeing that this has always been a fucking sham and we're getting force-fed dog shit options for yet another election cycle?
I don't think anybody disagrees there that this is, it's a shit show. There is no candidate that gets people excited. My personal thing about this, I know you said let's not go into Trump, and I'm not going to in that regard, but you're a special counsel. That's who they aligned to this. Like, he's coming out and saying, well, I'm not going to pursue anything because he's old. That is the most ridiculous bullshit I've ever heard. This man is in office. He is taking up a role of the greatest responsibility, and we're going to, because he's old and senile and he forgets shit, we're not going to like move forward with anything. That is absolutely wild to me. Trump, they would be going after Trump. They would be going after any other candidate. But, because he's old, he falls off his bike. He's fucking like, what a joke, bro. Like, how are you going to hold this double standard and keep allowing it to happen? He is in the running for the 2024 election.
We're over here telling these stories, and so is America. To the general public, it feels like they're the only two candidates,
because
like
the game is rigged,
right? The game's rigged.
Yeah.
And as we've seen in recent years, charges are brought up, but they feel like they're the untouchables.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And that's a reality. But I will say this: when it comes to memory and the way that like memory and being able to like recall memory and the way that trauma impacts that, like I've seen in just the regular Joe, no pun intended, you know what I'm saying? That
definitely
folks will like forget things based off of the trauma that they're exposed to. I can only imagine like what goes on, regardless if you feel like you're an untouchable. Like the two quote unquote kings must have some real internal trauma going on. You know what I'm saying?
Right, but like
with all of the pressure.
But you need to move forward from someone who doesn't have that trauma. Then, like that's my biggest thing is like
it's one position. It's one position we got to fill.
You can support Biden's policies. There has to be someone who has a like mind that is cognitively functioning, that can pick up the mantle and run with those policies to the people and probably get more voters on their side because they can actually articulate an argument instead of saying, how much, blah, 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 and then spin around in circles like a goddamn like top.
But they won't get a platform.
I know, because it's rigged. And that's like my biggest problem with politics these days is like it's the have and the have-nots. We're all have-nots. And I just, the most irritating thing to me is people like looking me dead in the eye on a camera and telling me that I'm the fucking crazy one for noticing something that's clearly happened.
Man, I feel all you guys on that. I respect all you guys' comments. I mean, Chachi, you said something about the trauma and stuff. And I mean, people get old, people forget stuff. I mean, Bill Cosby probably forgot when he touched those ladies back when he was 20s and 32, but they still locked his ass up, didn't they?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
They sure did.
But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, it's rigged, and you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. We need a better political system. We ain't gonna get one no time soon. We can talk about it. We can bitch about it. We can say what we want, express our opinions. But at the end of the day, it's the people that's behind those people that's really making those decisions and how things really getting done around here. It ain't
and
that
local
face.
politics as well,
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, local politics. You know what I'm saying? It's the teams. You know what I'm saying? It's the teams. Just like every superstar you see out here. It ain't that person. It's the people behind them. You know what I'm saying? It's the team, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I got you.
I didn't elect the goddamn team. That's the problem.
Exactly. But anyway.
But yeah, that's my story. Mashed potatoes and gravy, Joe Biden for brains. That's what we're dealing with. And it's either that or extra burnt chicken nugget Donald Trump for fucking president. So, Chachi, what you got for us?
Yo, on another note, right? And this was super interesting at a time when the corporate giants flexed their muscles once again. Sony bought Michael Jackson's whole catalog at a record $1.2 billion, most expensive music deal in history. And while the corporate giants continue to find ways to level up through the acquisition of other people's intellectual property and talent, there are some cultural giants who are finding ways to challenge the traditional systems and maybe sparking a cultural shift in the landscape of sales and marketing. Let's go to Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift, who's been messing around and flexing her power, showing folks in the major corporations and the power-yielding seats how to do it by sharing wealth. She's been supporting the folks that work directly for her. It was reported that she gave the whole fleet of truck drivers that work for her $100,000 bonuses.
I need that job.
Right? Right?
Bonuses.
And so, yeah, bonuses, right? And then you got Usher, who came in with his Super Bowl performance, you know what I mean? Whole lot of swinging and dancing, but he negotiated having a 15-minute uninterrupted commercial for his new tour in exchange for that performance after getting the highlight instead of getting a bag for it. And then, which I thought was like the money move, right? Our favorite, Kanye, Yeezy, all right?
The king is back.
Yeezy, all right, makes this amazing move with a zero production budget, no money spent, shot on an iPhone, dropped $7 million on a 30-second slot during the Super Bowl, all right? And then the next day, within 24 hours, 284,357 orders placed, amounting to a whopping 19.3 million in sales in less than a day. And then so this is the thing though. He sold every product in his new launch for $20 a piece.
Man.
T-shirts, short sleeves 20, long sleeves 20, pants 20, shoes 20. Everything on Yeezy.com was for $20. Spent nothing to shoot the video. Dropped 7 million. Flipped that to 19.3. What y'all think?
Love it. I like Yeezy, man. I love Yeezy, man. Yeezy 2024, baby.
Yo, did he just break the system? Did he just cut his marketing budget to zero and then make his products affordable for everybody?
Well, I mean, his marketing budget was not zero; it was 7 million.
Yeah,
he just did put zero effort into the production.
Zero into the production. Yeah,
but how much would that production have been?
Oh, it would have been a lot. It would have been a lot because, like, Super Bowl ads, CBS made 7 million per slot, right? But Dunkin' Donuts ended up being the most expensive. They spent 10 million on Ben Affleck, but the total commercial everybody else was like a $40 million commercial. It's like stupid, and they didn't make no money. Who buying Dunkin'?
Yeah. True. But Yeezus, right? Reportedly, Yeezus said it himself that he's been trying for all of his collaborations, whether it was Adidas, Gap, some of the high-end collaborations he's done. He's been trying to convince them to partner with him in an attempt to bring down the price point. Even with Gap, who was reluctant to bringing down their sales to 20, he was like, I want to bring it down even lower than that to make the product affordable. And
he did that.
You know, he did it, and you know, I think that's what makes him the cultural giant that he is, and that's what's scary to the corporations when he could do that, make that much money, make it affordable for folks. That's like, you know, the same moves that like Starberry did in China with his shoes.
Exactly, the $20 shoe.
And Shaq did with his brand of shoes, you know what I mean? So
Walmart's
cats ain't embarrassed to throw on a pair of Yeezys, you know what I mean?
Nah,
like
exactly.
don't get caught with a pair of Shaqs on.
No Starberries, bro.
You know, but Yeezy is I think he got something. I think he got something. I think anybody that's brave enough to challenge the system, the corporate system, we see what's happening politically, right? You just touched on it, Jay. And you know, when it comes to the money, if you finding ways to play around with the money, it could really shake things up. And we're talking about, you know, folks with some serious power as well, right? When you talk about Taylor Swift in the game, Kanye West in the game, yes, music industry power, but that translates, man. You see power. You see what Taylor was able to do. This is the most viewed Super Bowl in history, and a lot of people say it's because for the first time in a long time, like that demographic is now interested in the sport. So
No, let's interested in the relationship just to see Taylor every 2 seconds when they make a big play. Here's Taylor Swift. I got so tired of that, bro. I got so tired of seeing her.
I thought they were
using...
they
said her total was like for like 51 seconds or like less than 2 minutes of screen time.
Yeah, but it's think about those quick things. That's a lot, bro. That's a lot of panning.
You know how they say you can see those subliminal messages? Yeah. That's how I feel like Taylor Swift was.
I thought they were pre-recorded.
I mean, apparently Kanye bought a seat right in front of Taylor's suite.
Yeah, I heard. And so he denied it. He denied that he got kicked out. Somebody, you know, there was rumor that Taylor Swift had Kanye kicked out. Yeah. Kanye and his wife kicked out. I think that's all big cap, but I don't know.
Oh, because he dissed her at that one, was it a Grammys like 15 years ago or something? The Swifties still mad about that.
Well, he did make famous the song "I Made That Bitch Famous." I feel like me and Taylor might still have sex, so like it's a little bit more than just
Yeah, it wasn't just a diss. Yeah. I got a question for y'all though. With Kanye's recent move, right? If there was a brand right now that you're like, man, if they had everything for $20, I'm going and racking up.
Off-White.
Oh, that's Virgil, though. That's Virgil. Hell yeah, I rack off on Virgil. Like, real talk. I mean, but see, if you want to say living, then I'm going to be honest. I'm going to get the Yeezus because you can go on GOAT right now or StockX and put those joints up and make bread. They like cars that hold their value, bro. You can get money off of those. Like, Yeezy's just...
Not Jordans?
Yeezy.
I was thinking Jordans.
Jordan would never.
No, dog. Jordan never dropped that price, bro.
But here's the thing: like Kanye just exposed the entire industry. Like people gonna start coming back at him, and it's just like when Trump got up on stage for the first time and was like exposing, like, hey, look, I know I'm benefiting from all this tax shit because these same people over here, they're benefiting from it too. That's why they're not, you know what I mean? Like he came out, he started exposing that system and what did they do? They got defensive. They came after him. So it'll be interesting to see, if any, backlash against Kanye, again, you know.
Word. But yo, hey, that's my story. I thought it was super interesting. I'm excited for folks challenging the system. I'm all for it. Rage Against the Machine. Right. Boogie, what you got?
So I'm going to keep it political. Man, I don't know why, but so I don't know if y'all saw, but it looks like we just passed another big aid bill for this time. It's not just for Ukraine. It covers a couple other countries. So I think it was 90 something billion, 93 billion, something like that. All I wanted to do here, bring this up, is one, I'm just going to give some background on that bill, where the money's going. But then two, I wanted to ask y'all how y'all feel about it, because it's been happening for a while. I feel like we've talked about it in a previous episode, but it's just, I don't know, it's just, there's more like red flags that are raising to me. And I'm always on the fence with some of this stuff. Like I have angel on one shoulder, devil on the other. Like I can see us doing this, and then I can also see the opposite of it. Right. So just wanted to get your take. So real quick, 60 billion goes to Ukraine. Now, Ukraine, for all y'all that don't know, is a NATO partner. They are not a member.
Yeah. They're not a member. No.
That means that NATO countries are not obligated to come to their defense with their own troops. Right. As we've seen, we haven't. 20 billion of that is to U.S. defense contractors in Ukraine. Mm-hmm. Okay. So coming back into the U.S., another 20 is to replenish weapon stockpiles and supplies. And 14 billion is for a Department of Defense program used to buy weapons for Ukraine via American manufacturers. So more, it's like we're pumping money out, but it's kind of coming back in if you think about it, right? Now, I will say one thing, right? I mean, at the very beginning, I'm like, why are we sending all this money over? They're not I get the whole democracy thing. I get the whole proxy war between the U.S. and Russia. But I will just say one thing. Ukraine has sent troops on NATO missions before. So they've sent them to Afghanistan and Iraq. So Ukraine has bled for conflicts that the U.S. has been part of in other countries, right? So just throwing that there. So another 14 billion goes to Israel. So they're another partner. They're also not a member, right? But we have obviously very deep ties with Israel because of where they're at. They're in a very tumultuous like area, right? So so that goes to like security, air defense, and laser defense weapons. 9 billion of that, another 9 billion goes to humanitarian aid in Gaza. So probably much needed. I can get behind that. Now, 8 billion goes to Taiwan, 2 billion for weapons, 3.5 billion to like construct submarines manufactured in the US again. So some more money kind of pumping back in to the US, right? Now, Taiwan's a little bit different. President Biden has come out and said, we will defend Taiwan. We will send American troops and we will defend Taiwan, whoever comes at them. Taiwan is not a NATO member. We had a defense pact with them, but that ended in 1979. So again, no contractual treaty-based need that we would defend them, but we're going to say, hey, we're going to go defend them, right? And then at the very bottom, 400 million for assistance to nonprofits and religious organizations to protect against hate crimes. So that's the bill. That's where the money goes, as far as what we're told.
Yeah.
The question I have for all of you is, how do you feel about us sending that many tax dollars out when we have, for decades, seen teachers striking? We've heard all over the news all the time. Our education system does not have the money it needs. That's the first thing. The second thing is our food production, our farmers. We subsidize food. We buy up, like these, big companies come out and buy up farmers, and then they try to make them more industrial and more efficient, right? Packing more and more animals into smaller spaces to increase food production, save costs and shit like that. Like down to the very, like pennies, right? Just trying to get that. We're scrounging for education. We're scrounging for food production in a non like abusive way to raise animals for slaughter, right? I mean, any way you look at it, you're killing an animal, but you know, you can treat them with respect. You can have, what I'm getting at is we skimp on that. We skimp on other things that are protected. I mean, Trump came out and said like we could spend part of that money and put it into defending schools from mass shootings, putting more, right? So we have all of these things that we skimp on.
Yeah.
And we neglect, and we're like, oh, go find another way. And here we are blowing through tax dollars for a country that we have no defense ties to at all, other than, hey, we are in a competition against Russia and China. So I just want to throw that out there.
Yeah.
How y'all
we
feel
also
about
have
that?
like a huge and quickly growing wealth gap, and the poorest cities in America are only getting poorer. There's still spaces that don't even have like accessible clean water in the United States. And
What do you think $5 billion would do for those areas?
I think, you know, education system, you know, you know, the education system, you know, public education in a lot of like small urban communities, you know, it's really almost impossible to even find like teachers to fill the roles. And then, you know, you know, wonder why kids are like not excited about public school education. I don't know.
Science,
I think
math, technology, you know, all the shit that builds a nation. And yeah.
I'm one of those firm believers that if like you yourself aren't, if your home's not in order, then you can't help others. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
I feel like as a country, our home hasn't been in order for a long time. So
Right.
we got to fix home.
I have so many thoughts on this that would eat up an entire episode in itself, and would require a lot of elaboration on those thoughts so that, you know, people could truly understand where I'm coming from.
Sure.
But the way that I'm looking at it now, just at a macro level, is we've given roughly now almost $200 billion to Ukraine up to this point in time. All right, a few things. One, it hasn't necessarily produced results in terms of regaining territory, etc. And there's multiple factors for that, right? Like, and you can't blame the Ukrainian people for being like, no, we want to keep fighting. Like, I get that.
Yeah. Of course.
It also goes to a government that, by all metrics, is notoriously corrupt and embezzles money. So the money's not even going where it's saying to be going.
Yep.
I think also it is a huge red flag and problem to me that our NATO allies are not contributing even a small fraction of what we have. And this conflict is occurring on their continent, right? So if you look at the other European NATO allies, they're not giving money to this conflict like we are. So it begs the question, what is the incentive structure here for giving this money? And Boogie, as you pointed out, it funnels back to defense contractors who are winning contracts, who then our politicians make gambles on the stock market on and get insane returns. So it's literally this cycle of pocket lining. And I find it very difficult to be in support of this large amount of money for this long when, to Chachi's point, right? Flint, Michigan still doesn't have drinkable water. Maui, our government gave them a one-time $700 check after they burned down through no fault of their own, right? And you're going to look me in the eye and say that we can't rebuild Maui, but yet we can do our like 5th, 6th, 7th aid package to Ukraine without seeing results. Like, if this was an investment, like just purely a financial investment where you were getting a negative return, you would stop pouring money into that investment and you would change your strategy, right? Like, I think there's not a call for peace. There's not a call for a ceasefire. There's nothing. And if you surface these points, you are subsequently shouted down. You are called a racist. You are called any number of names of the sky. And I don't know. I think it's a tinderbox, and I think the last thing I want, and it is, of course, the next step would be, let's put some U.S. troops on the ground. And then when one of those U.S. troops ultimately does suffer a casualty, then what? We're going to do the NATO treaty and end up being involved because of boots on the ground.
Then that war with Russia.
And people want that because then the contract's coming in and it's like war dogs, right? But like with Taiwan is a little different because, although they're a NATO partner, or however you framed it, like the reason why we're doing that is because they manufacture all of the semiconductors in the fucking world, all of the chips. That's all done in Taiwan. We're merely protecting our investment and our ability to have.
But you don't hear them say that. Right? You hear them say, well, we're staunch defenders of democracy and blah, blah, blah.
I don't know, man. The war machine, man. Like, everybody needs to go back and listen to Tupac Changes. Man. Got money for wars and can't feed the poor.
All right, Dizzle.
Well, we gonna lighten it up because y'all know what time it is, man. Random story of the day. I hope we got a good one for you. Well, here we go. The Dutch grocery store, Jumbo. They got about 700 stores across the Netherlands. And they invented, throughout those 7, it's just 125 lanes out of 700 stores. They put 125 lanes that checks out people who are 65 years of age or older. They call it, I'm going to see if I can pronounce it right, Klitskasse. They call it the Klitskasse.
Okay.
So if I said it wrong, somebody put the Netherlands.
The Klitskasse?
That's what I heard on Valentine's Day.
I think
That's what I heard.
Klitskasse.
I've been having trouble finding the lane. Can someone draw me a diagram?
Spin that disc, DJ.
Well, the Klitskasse, basically, it stands for chat checkout. So people that are old school that's having trouble putting out their credit card, their cash, can go through the line, pennies. Have a conversation. Yeah, they got pennies. They counting up. The Joe Biden lane. Yeah, the Joe Biden lane. They forgot something. They want to talk. They can spend time in that line, and they can just have a long conversation, drink coffee, talk to little Mary down there, talk about the grandkids. Mary. Check out. This is a bang. It's a bang, man. It's a bang because over there they did a survey, right? And this survey says a whole lot of old people were lonely. Damn. They were lonely people. That's sad. Yeah, man. They said about 80% of the survey, people were just lonely. 80? They wanted somebody to talk to. 80%. Oof. They were just lonely and they wanted somebody to talk to. Damn. So they go to the grocery store and now they talking to Mary or Jen
or Craig.
Hey, Craig, they need to talk to Craig. He's still trying to own Bitcoin.
And Day.
But anyway, this is a big bang for the Netherlands. The French are picking it up as well. They try to bring it and encourage it for the United States. But guess what the United States said? Hell no.
Yeah. I got places to be, bro. Give me my
fast
food.
Money only.
Exactly. What do you guys think about the story, man?
Yo, there's a lot of I think there's a lot of data that shows that loneliness, especially post-COVID, is like one of the biggest issues that are facing around the world. There's a lot of people that were kind of forced back into normalcy and not really understanding, again, back to that trauma, how to process what we all were kind of equitably exposed to with the pandemic. And loneliness is real. Some people don't know how to break out of it. Some people don't know how to make friends. You know what I'm saying? And I think a strategy like that, where it's like, it's like those benches where it's like, hey, sit here if you need somebody to listen. I think it's like this. I think it's like the same concept, but inside of a store where everybody needs to go. So
and you develop a routine. Right, you come back every Thursday. Mary Lou is working. Or Bob, Mary Lou, Craig.
Hey, Mary Lou. The bad thing about it, though, man,
that's like Andy Griffith level.
Older, man. The thing about it, they're 65 years older, man. So if Bob doesn't come back, man, you already know.
Stop, man. Come on, man.
Bob ain't been back for a couple Wednesdays. Somebody go check on him. Hey, go check on Bob.
Bob alone. Bob might just be at at that business with the special Wednesdays.
Hey, Bob might be making chili, all right? Bob
might be
with Mary
Bob
Lou.
might be in the bear cave. Bob might be making a Build-A-Bear. Leave Bob alone, man. Listen.
Bob needs to leave his bottle alone, bro.
Hey, the elders need places to be. You know what I mean? They ain't gonna be hitting the club or cruising the streets. They're gonna be up in Stop and Shop, chilling,
Playing
having
chess.
a long conversation.
Playing chess in the park and shit.
Well, well, fellas, that is our random story of the day. So, we gave you guys Build-A-Bear. They out here got the bear cave for the adults, making adult teddy bears looking like Hugh Hefner. You know what I'm saying? Telling you, baby, come get these buns. I'm the love doctor. But you got some people that's mad about it. And they mad because they ain't getting them none of that good loving. You know what I'm saying? So I like it. Build-A-Bear, do your thing and give something to the adults. Jay!
I gave you
Oh,
Sorry, that was my Joe Biden impression. Joe Biden, people are questioning whether he's mentally fit to run the country. We'll let y'all be the decision makers, but our choices suck for 2024. Chachi?
Yo, Yeezy strikes again. You know what I mean? Shocking the system, challenging the corporate norm by setting precedents, by cutting down costs, making a power move to like increase profits and make his product affordable to the regular Joe. I'm all for it. Go Yeezy. What you got, Boog?
Well, we gave people who lost all their homes and livelihoods $700, and we gave Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan
$1 Brazilian dollars.
$1 Brazilian dollars. Exactly.
It's your boy Dizzle.
It's your boy Hollywood.
Chachi in the house.
It's Boogie.
I want to thank you guys for listening to What They Talking. See you guys again next week. Peace.